Hi, Samantha. I'm so excited to be speaking with you. I missed you. I'm so happy to have your face on my screen. Great to see you again, girl.
Same here.
Um, I've got a question for you. As a Latina woman, please tell me what your role in the health and wellness space, what does that do for your community? How does that play out in your community?
Oh, great question. All right, loaded question. But for me, health and wellness is like deeply intertwined with the values of the Latino community. But it's often something we historically didn't have the privilege of prioritizing, if I'm being honest. Growing up, many of us were focused on surviving, working hard, providing for our families. So sometimes, at the expense of our own health, we didn't put it in front of us, make it a priority. So I've seen my family and other families in the community pour so much into others, but forget about themselves.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like wellness is about like reclaiming that balance now. It's not just about your physical strength, it's a mental, emotional, and even spiritual balance, if I could say that too. Like when we take care of ourselves, our bodies, we honor our ancestors and break those cycles of generational trauma. Um, we teach each other at least for the new generation that wealth and health is wealth, and that
Yeah.
taking time for yourself is a form of self-love and resilience.
That is so deep and so incredible and, so critically important for the Latino community. So thank you for everything that you do. And I know that your sister and your family do to contribute to that every day. So incredible.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
If we're doing questions,
Let's do it.
in terms of like you being a female executive in the health and wellness space, like how does that impact your community?
Well, I have to say, no matter what industry, I believe it's really important to have female representation at the executive level. No matter what, we represent over half the population. It's important to have a voice in the room there. I also think it's really important to bring a different perspective to meetings, to decision making, to business strategy. I'm proud to be able to do that. And also our industry is primarily female. So to be able to be a female voice in the room, kind of advocating for the needs, wants, voices, it's really important to me. And, communities at large, I hope people, women and men, and young women and men can see a woman in the executive room making decisions, and that becomes absolutely normal as it should be.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
totally agree. Totally
Yeah.
agree with you. We need
So,
more of that. So I'm happy that you definitely represent that. And it's nice to see. It definitely is a breath of fresh air, if I must say.
yeah. Well, thank you. Loving what you do helps tremendously. Um, so how do you, I mean, you have such an incredible voice, right? You have an incredible platform, an incredible voice. How do you use that to really become a voice and an advocate for the Latino community and other communities of color?
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think becoming a voice for the Latino community has been both a responsibility and a privilege that I take with so much care and love. For me, it started by embracing my own identity and sharing my journey authentically. I like, we say that word and we're like, oh, authentically, but honestly, it means so much because, like, when you do that, people can resonate with that. So, knowing, sharing my struggles, sharing my triumphs, sharing my culture are a reflection of what others may see me as and they like me for. I advocate by showing up on social media, whether on social media, in the gym, in other community spaces, and as a whole myself. I don't hide where I come from or the challenges that I faced. I believe representation is powerful. So going back to what you were saying, same thing, like you being in those rooms and being in those spaces is super powerful. When other Latinas can see someone like you or me leading in the health and wellness space, it's a plant that's it plants a seed that can say, you know what, if they can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
And it's about creating spaces for us to be seen, heard, and understood. So I advocate for that through action. And I use my platforms to highlight those important conversations and access to wellness resources, mental health, mental wellness, unique struggles that our community faces as well. So it's not just about fitness for me, even though that is like where my industry and where my focus is. It's so much more than that. It's about breaking barriers, shifting mindsets around what we deserve and what we need. And then I want our community and anyone else who feels unseen to know that they have the strength to rewrite their own narrative. And I'm here to support them in any way that I can throughout their journey.
I love that. And I have to say, as a fan, a follower of your social footprint, and just you as a human in our interactions, you bring such authenticity and your full self to everything that you do that it is a joy to watch you. It's a joy to like cheer on your journey. I want to see you showing up. I want to see you in all those places. And, even your workouts are fun. And if see it the way you are in your full self, when you show up, you're giving other people permission to do the same. And, your flavor might be their flavor, and that's the permission maybe that they needed to enter into this space. And everything that we do in the health and wellness space is really intended to not just connect, but like give in, right? And we're doing, in theory, the best that we can in terms of sharing health and wellness with others. So thank you for everything that you do, because again, as a fan and a follower of yours, it's just a joy. It's a joy to watch. You make health and wellness fun and accessible to everybody. And I think that's so, so important.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I always, and in terms of like the workouts, like I love to show again my culture, like dancing into the video, also my body type, just, we have curves,
Yes.
we have cellulite, we have,
Yes.
so just really coming in as a whole and really just embracing myself. I feel like that gives other amazing women in the community permission to show up as themselves, regardless. Again, I'm in the fitness industry. I'm not perfect. I'm not size 2, and that's okay. So
That is actually one of my favorite. I mean, I hate that we're gonna even, I'm even gonna use the word trend, but that's my favorite thing that is happening over time as more cultures and body types and physical types come into play, is that there is no longer like a perfect, form that we can embrace all different body types. It's so normal and yeah, just accepted and healthy. I love seeing different body types show up, wherever you are. And even, wherever anyone is in their particular health journey. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you are showing your body, but how are you showing up for yourself? And the idea of that, and you touched on this, right? Like health and wellness and emotional and spiritual journeys are just as critical as physical journeys in kind of the overarching health and wellness space. So yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. And then for you, like, how do you become a voice, or how do you advocate for women in health and wellness?
You know, in that space, it's been particularly fun, I would say. In my job, I get to work with product development teams and, in kind of business strategy. And, the way I get to show up is by bringing forward all of the issues and concerns and product needs that, our population needs. So whether it was our prenatal program that we brought to market a couple of years ago, or looking at, what is happening in the women's wellness space and, integrating whether it's new items for vaginal health or, menopause, any of those elements that are specific to, even just women bone density and what is needed. So bringing those issues forward in the product development process is a place where I've been showing up physically and tangibly. And then, every now and then a girl pops in a product for skincare and,
Yeah.
our aging ones,
Oh,
or ageless
my
ones,
favorite.
which I love. And that may or may not have been influenced by a woman in the room. But, that's one of the most direct spaces. And then, of course, when we're working on imagery and photography, not only am I trying to ensure that we've got a balance in terms of of, everyone being present, male, female, but also diversity, because that is so critically important. I do my best. I always have my eye to like looking at that balance and making sure that everyone can see themselves reflected in the imagery that the brand puts out. We have a very strong, and I feel very strongly about this, no retouching policy on faces and bodies, because I want everyone to see authentic, true people being reflected back in the imagery that we as a brand put forward. So yeah, every day we show up. That's the fun part of work. But I do believe that as a woman, I'm bringing that very particular perspective and POV to the work every day.
Thank you for what you're doing. I mean,
All
every day
right. Look,
we're
when am I
learning
going to
more.
get to do a workout with you? That's my question.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
I feel like we should, next steps from here is that we should get a host, if you wouldn't mind. We'd love to have you host a workout sesh for our Shaklee friends and family. Sound good?
The Shaklee familia, I'm always here for it. So yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Awesome. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Samantha. It's so great to see you, and I can't wait to see you again. Besos.
Yes.